We did set up our Triumph VS receiver to do an RTK survey, and now we are ready to work. I clicked the action button and we are in action screen, which now I'm going to explain. On the top left section are communication icons. First one on the left is Internet LAN. If I click on this icon, a page that shows our LAN communication details will show. Next to LAN is Wi-Fi icon. I will click this icon and we will see our Wi-Fi communication details. Next to Wi-Fi, here again, if I click, we will see UHF connection details. As we programmed, the frequency of 451.225 kilohertz, and our protocols are shown on the right side. And on this side, we see the format of data that we receive, our line quality, the delay on receiving signals, and the number of frames that we have received so far, and the number that we have lost. So the number of losses shows that we have excellent communication, as shown in the next line. A little red line on the icon shows that we are slightly overloaded with signal, which is not causing any problem now. For the definitions of the different colors of the icons, please see the technical details of Triumph VS in our website. Next two icons are GSM, GPRS, and Bluetooth. I will cover them in another section. On the right section, the first icon is satellite icon, which shows we are tracking 16 satellites, and the name of our receiver is JA1. If I click this icon, satellite screen will appear, which shows the satellites that we are tracking, elevation angle, azimuth, health status, and signal strength of L1, P1, P2, L2C, L5, and others. The color codes of signal strength shows signal strength relative to perfect. Blue is perfect signal, green is 3 dB down, and red is 6 dB down relative to perfect. The gray satellite on the bottom shows that this signal is behind a blockage and we are not tracking it now. Icon to the right of satellite is the map icon, which, as I said before, if we click on the map icon, it will take us to the current map. We go back to action screen. Next icon is the current setting icon, which the abbreviated 3-letter under it. If we click this icon, the current settings page will show, which has the summary of all of our settings. Next two icons are display and battery icons, which I will explain in other sections. On the right side of the screen is the start button, which when I click, the survey action will start. On the left side is the timer block, which start counting from the time that I click the start button. It shows the elapsed time. Below the timer block is the satellite block. Under each satellite system, we see the total number of satellites tracked, and to the right of that, in green color, the number of satellites used. In here, we are tracking 6 GPS satellites and we using all of them, and 7 GLONASS satellites and we use all of them, 1 Galileo and 1 EGNOS, which we are not using. Below satellites block is the summary setup block, which shows we have programmed to record voice and record picture, and here that we are expecting only centimeter level RTK solutions, The gray box in here shows that we have programmed not to record spectrum data. We have programmed 15 degrees of elevation mask. Here we have programmed that we are mounting Triumph VS on a monopod. In here that our antenna height is 1.54 meter. This icon shows that we have programmed to correct by levels, and below that to correct by compass. The other two icons are for our future development. In this box, we show that we have programmed to record GPS data at 1 Hertz in both SD card and in internal memory. And in the rest of the box, we show the total memory and the available memory in the internal memory, SD card, and flash memory. Flash memory is where we run our programs. On the other side of the screen, in the bottom, is our UHF reception status. We are receiving CMR Plus data, and below that, we have a delay of 1 or 2 seconds, and we are accepting up to 10 seconds of delay, and below that, it's the link quality of 100%, and below that, the frame counter. I start and stop my recording. That's why you will see jumps on the frame counter and on the time on the top of the screen. In this box, you will see the position solution type and the RMS of the position calculation. On this left side of the screen and on the bottom are the leveling indicators. Each will show from -10 to +10 degree of leveling. On the bottom of the screen, you will see the instantaneous position calculations. At this time, because we have not started, nothing is being recorded. On the center of the screen is where we show positions, and on the top is the scale of this display. We can zoom in by clicking the plus icon on the right side and zoom out by the icon on the left. We have programmed our Triumph VS receiver to do point survey. That's why we see point survey icon in here. If we click it, we go to a page. We can enter a name for the point that we want to survey and in which layer we want to put it, and assign type, symbol, and attributes. Currently, layer 0 is selected. And that's why we see the number 0 in the center of the map icon on the top. I will click the layer and change the layer to 2 for my points to be recorded on layer 2 of the current map. I click name and I change name to Stone 35 and click done. And in point survey also I click apply. On top of the action screen you see the point name, and that is going to be stored on map SF2 on layer 2. On the bottom of the screen also you will see the numerical representations of leveling offsets and also the heading or the compass number. 2 more small items. On the bottom of the display screen you'll see current time, and below the battery you will see the temperature inside the receiver. Now I click start and the actual survey begins. First, the delay counts is counted in the middle of the screen. Counter of epochs will show on the right side, and the averaged position on this box. And the tone that you hear is the tone that assigned to the RTK fixed solutions. We can continue this survey as long as we need, and then when I click stop, survey will stop. When we stop the survey, the point number will automatically increment and it's ready to do the next survey. We start another survey and we see the delay counts is on the center. The icon for recording appears in here and my voice is being recorded now. Also, we see the data that is being recorded in the internal memory and then the SD card. It switched to RTK float momentarily and back to RTK fixed, and the tone of the point also changed. I will cover the antenna again to show this effect. I remove my hand. And got back to RTK fixed. Now I zoom in using the zoom button. Now this whole screen is 7.8 centimeters and you'll see the scatter of points with the last point being highlighted with a red square. Click again to start another point. Voice recording is shown on the left and positions are shown in the center. A big square in the center shows the average position and the little solid square shows the current position. There were several starts and stops and I had to edit this presentation. Don't be surprised when you see jumps on the epic counter or on the data recorder on the bottom or on the frame counter on the bottom. One more item to add. If you click the action button for the second time, auxiliary action screen will appear, which shows the critical items of the action screen in bold fonts. On the top, we have the point name. On the middle, the epic counter. And the bottom, the delay in transmission line. On the left side, the RMS of position accuracy. And on the right side, the three hardware buttons will act as start, stop, and clear the screen. This screen is useful in places that we have not so good visibility. And finally, let us see our survey results by clicking on this map icon and going to the map. In here, the map auto scale is set and it's zoomed out to show all of the points that I surveyed. We spent not more than a minute to survey each point. And you can see the total width of the scale of our map is 1.72 centimeter. So we have about 1.5 centimeter peak to peak from all these points that we surveyed. We can go to home page and click points to see the points that we surveyed, and go back and click GNSS data to see all the files that we have recorded.